Okay, so thanks for inviting me here. I come from Estonia. It's a rather colder country than it is here. We already have -degrees there. And I will give a short overview of some recommendation systems we have developed. And yes. So the outline, I will try to keep it shorter than I planned. So first, what is a recommendation system anyway? So there are, as we actually heard, there are many systems out there on the back of the room which actually provide already recommendation systems. And technically what we consider in our case is that there is a user, in our case tourist, and the tourist has some interests. And we have some objects, tourism objects, and now we have to match those interests and the properties of the objects in order to provide personalized recommendations to the users. So for example, if the tourist likes art, we then offer her art-related objects. So every object in our database technically should have a type or several types. It could be art, it could be architecture, and so on. And every category technically has a score. So let's say there's a museum and we can say that it's 80% of an art place. Or there is a concert which is, I don't know, 90% of rock concert and so on. And the user also has interests, and we also have scores for those. So for example, user likes museums, like 80% and so on. I will maybe give a very short demo about some of our system already implemented. One is for Estonia. So for the whole Estonia, we are a small country, so it's not a problem to have something for the whole country. There's a recommendation system which basically is operated by a travel agency, the main travel organization in Estonia. And so technically there is if you enter, you should provide your interests. So let's say I like events a lot. I don't like attractions. Maybe I like a lot of food. And I can specify what kind of food. So I don't know, I don't like restaurants and cafes and so on. And yeah, well, I don't know, I like shopping. And what happens is that schedule based on the interests is created for me. The schedule also includes opening time, so I will start at 5, so it automatically took our current time and so on. So I can modify the preferences, so for example, how many days and what do I like and what do I not like and so on. And also there is a map, which it's not Google Map, but it's one local provider. Technically the idea is the same. And in that project case, we have all the information is coming from the organization. So we don't have to do any data gathering ourselves. Although we do add some information about popularity from like TripAdvisor and other places. The other project, which aims to have recommendations for the whole world, is sitesmap.com, which technically tries to visualize the most popular objects around the world. And for example, I can check out Rovereto. Zoom in. So it's a heat map, and you can say the yellow places are more popular than non-yellow places. So you can see there is one street probably which is more popular than around here, and here is something popular, and the most popular object is where was it? What, this one, rank in the area. The popularity or the heat map is based on the pictures of Panoramio. So technically, where there are more pictures taken, there is probably something worth to see, and probably this area is more popular. So, and as you can see, there are more pictures here, and therefore it's more highlighted than other areas. Of course, it's only one way to see it, because there are places which you cannot take photos inside the museums and so on, but yeah. And here you also can have a recommendation. I will point out some problems we have. I won't show you the recommendation in this application, although it already works, but as this data is not so with so high quality as coming from one organization who deals with this data gathering, it's of course it's not so accurate. Just to visualize some maybe not so technical part, but how this structure is how our system is working. We have the main part here is the succession engine, which takes some inputs, and one is user profile. It could be your Facebook account, for example, but why we considered asking you the interests every time is that, for example, if you visit the same city for, I don't know, third time, you probably want to see some other things, or maybe sometimes you go for fun, sometimes you go for for work and so on. So you might have different interests depending on your time and whatever, maybe seasonal thing and so on. And in this case, we have on the lower left corner, there is the partner. So there is one partner which provides all the information. We technically use this information to create a travel plan. Although, yeah, in Visit Estonia case, we do some additional research on popularity, so you know which objects are more popular. And in Sitesmap case, all this information is automatically gathered from internet, and almost all this information is coming from social media. So there is Panoramio, Foursquare, and so on. I have a list on one slide. And basically it works the same. You have a profile, you have data. It's just a matter of whether the data is organized for us or we have to do it ourselves, and we make a plan for the user. So as I said, the heat map on Sitesmap case is gathered, is based on the Panoramio pictures, and where there are more pictures, probably this is more popular place. And the titles of the pictures are actually used to find out the names and the types of the object. So where there are a lot of pictures, usually people tend to name the object in the title. So if it's, I don't know, Eiffel Tower, probably people say it's Eiffel Tower. I mean, I don't know, see, it's Eiffel Tower in my picture or something like that. So usually it works out well that we just take like the most popular term or the phrase to have a title for our location. And for the type, it's more complicated. We have to exclude some names. For example, if it's Paris, there is no point to have a object which has name Paris. So we have to exclude some cities. We also have to exclude some parts, maybe like I don't know. Eiffel is also not a category. So we have several research papers on that, how we do that. I won't go into detail with that here. Sir? 5 minutes? From now, yes. And as I said, we have different sources. So here I've listed most of them. Panoramio, the heat map is based on that. Also the names and the types in some cases. Wikipedia, we have taken Wikipedia articles which have geotagged locations, so geotagged articles. And we also take names and types from there. So we try to parse the abstract of Wikipedia and try to find the type from this text, so it's some kind of a text analysis and so on. Then Foursquare, we mostly use it for popularity because there is a very good indicator how many check-ins have been there and how many unique check-ins. Geonames, just for having names and also some types. And there are some others which we cannot use them because of their terms, but we can link to them. So there's WikiTravel, TripAdvisor, Google Places, and I guess even more. So some challenges. With this approach with pictures, what often happens is that, for example, high buildings and mountains, you take pictures from farther away. So it might happen that Eiffel Tower, in our case, is actually located 500 meters away. Maybe not so much, but for some mountains it's the case. But then again, it might not be a problem because, for example, most of the people do want to see this object, and therefore they go there where the visual is the best. Of course, you should also visit the tower itself and so on. So therefore, there are some magic going on how to merge them, and there's Wikipedia usually indicates the exact place, and the pictures are somewhere around there, so we have to do some magic there, which often doesn't work out as we plan. But so other problem is language, because for the whole world we basically are parsing all different languages, starting from Chinese, Russian, Latin, so on. So I mean, that's the case, and then translating everything is very expensive. So we have some workarounds for that. As said, most of the pictures are taken outside. That's the kind of term in Panorama. So there are not a lot of pictures of cats, and there are not a lot of pictures from inside. Opening times, which is very hard to get in our local system for Estonia, it was easy because it was provided for us. And as I mentioned, terms and restrictions from different sources, which we cannot, for example, we actually cannot even download Panorama. So we use Panorama information to calculate something, but we use different kind of information. And the amount and the quality of data. Some numbers. So we have 50 million Panorama pictures. It's everything there is, geotagged by 2 million users. We have less than 1 million geotagged Wikipedia articles, technically everything there is. 8 million geoname places and 1.5 million Foursquare objects. And based on those numbers, we actually have gathered 2 million most popular objects around the world. So it can be city, it can be museum, mountain, whatever. And out of those 250,000 are connected with Wikipedia, so you can see that most of them actually don't have a good source in Wikipedia or even in Foursquare. Only 1/4 is actually exists in Wikipedia or Foursquare. So others we have to come up the names and types based on the titles themselves. And when we started with this prototype, we actually didn't do any advertisement. It kind of went viral, and what happened, it was we had 30,000 unique visitors every day. It lasted maybe for a week or two, but still, I mean, I mean, there might be potential. And of course, it was even on some newspaper covers. And future work, so mobile application, which we are already working, and it's kind of already is there, but I don't have a link for you, and you cannot download it yet. Additional sources, Flickr, which is also pictures, and Facebook, mainly for events. Some real evaluation we should have like real tourists test it out. We have done it for Estonian app, but there the data is not the problem. So in our case, I guess in Sitesmap, the data might be the problem. And some local planners for different cities or countries. Like for Estonia, we already have several potential partners with whom we are talking about how to do that. And technically that's it. So thank you. You have the link here.